Tom Jones here with P6 Biz Builders. Do you believe your business will fund your retirement someday? Most people will go as in business. That's what they think. I'll sell this business one day and live off the money. Here is the hard truth. A lot of people set up their businesses and it depends on them for everything. So if it depends on you for sales, marketing, all of that, it may not be worth what you think it is when you go to sell it. At P6 Business Builders, I talk about the 6 pillars that help you grow up to 10 times in 3 years. Those 6 pillars, again, are cash flow, profitability, systems and delegations. What we're going to work on today, your business value, taxes and owner wealth, and of course, leadership and vision. Like I said, today we're mainly going to talk about pillar 4, building business value. But you'll see pieces of the other pillars show up too, because all 6 pillars work together. It's not build on one. They kind of work interlaced with each other. And again, here's our main idea for today. You can 3 times the value of your company without increasing your revenue if you build the business correct way so that it works for you and without you. There's a brutal reality out there that people don't like to address. Let me share it to you. I see it all the time. Business owner comes to you. They've been in business 15 to 20 years. They are tired. They've worked 70 to 80 hours a week, haven't taken a vacation. They finally say, hey, I want to slow down and retire. I've done this long enough. In their mind, their business is worth $2 or $3 million. Simple fact. We run the value builder score and a simple valuation. The real number is $300,000. Maybe, sometimes less, sometimes more. But the big question they always ask is, why? I got this much in sales. Why is it only worth this? The number one reason, they did not build a business. They built a job for themselves. What do I mean built a job for themselves? If you are the only one who closes the big deals, manages all the key relationships, makes all the important decisions, and keeps operations running, then your business has owner dependency. When a buyer sees that, they think, if this owner leaves, the business falls apart. And that's why the value just drops, because the buyer doesn't see any value. And of course, that means a much lower value when you go to sell or nothing at all. So ask yourself a few questions as you're thinking about this. Do clients only want to work with you? Does revenue drop when you're the only one not selling? Does the team come to you for every decision? And are you afraid to take a real vacation? If you answer yes to any of those, stay with me. I've got some good tips. And this is what we actually fix in pillar 4, building business value. Let me start by this, what buyers are actually looking for. So what makes a business value to a buyer investor? In the value system, we talk about the 8 drivers of the value. Can the business run day to day without you there every day? If the way you do things only are up here and you don't share it with your staff, it's tied to you. You have no clear systems. Number 3, a team that can operate on its own. That's part of the leadership and vision driver. Do you have people who can lead, sell, and manage without you? Or are you the bottleneck for everything? What I mean by the bottleneck for everything? Everything comes like this, you're here, and before it goes back out, it has to sit here in that bottleneck. Buyers will pay more when they see a team that can carry on without the owner. It's going to be a common theme. Driver 4, clean financials and strong cash flow. If your books are messy, or if you mix personal and business spending, buyers either walk away or they take that price and it just drops. You think it's worth $2 million, they offer you $100,000. You have good, clean numbers. If you can present it to them right away at any time, it builds trust. And it also helps you build a real wealth over time, not just sales, because you're reading financials and actually doing your analysis and your planning based on that. Number 5, what buyers look for is growth potential without fixing the owner first. Buyers want to see that a business can grow. That's why they want to buy it. They see growth potential, but they don't want to spend years getting you out of every decision first. What I mean by that is they buy it, they keep you on as a consultant, and everything's still going through you. They don't want to have to pull that away because then it's worth less. If they see a clear path to growth with systems and a strong team, they will actually pay more. Step 1, document what you do. If a task is important and you do it more than once, write down the steps. Create short, they don't have to be fancy. Create short SOPs, standard operating procedures, and plain language. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy. It could be a 1-page checklist. A simple do this, do that process. And when you find areas that break, you redo it. So you have a script or a template for your staff. Here's how to do it. Boom, boom, boom. If it only lives in your head, it dies when you leave the business. And again, we get back to that more risk, less purchase price. Again, document once, delegate forever. Step 2, build a small, strong leadership team. To be in an ownership and coach. You're coaching up your team. You're coaching them up, leading them on so that the company can run without you. Step 3 is to create recurring revenue. That will help increase the value. One-time projects are harder to sell and worth less. Believe it or not, almost every business has a way that they can find some type of recurring revenue. Look for ways to build monthly service plans, maintenance contracts, memberships, subscriptions, and ongoing advisory and retainer work. Another way to look at it is saying, what do clients ask me for all the time after we get the initial work done? That's something to maybe start as a subscription. Recurring revenue creates steady cash flow, and that's what buyers love. Hey, they consistently have $50,000 a month. Boom. Why? They look at the subscriptions. That's automatic. It often raises your value without changing your total sales. In my own work, I'm moving towards an advisory TANA model for that exact reason. Step 4 to help increase the value. Get your financials tight. People don't realize how important financials are. If you can pull out an accurate and tight financial statement for a buyer at any time, they're going to say, hey, to keep up on their books, they're on top of everything. This is basic, but a powerful tool to use. Remember, separate your business and personal accounts. Don't intermingle them. Always keep your book up to date. Know your profit margin on each product or service. And remember, we talked about it last week. There's a difference between markup and margin. Watch your cash coming in and going out every month. Also, you may see something. Where did this come from? That's what your job as a leader is. Find these issues that also pop up that should be there. Tools like Profit First help you make sure you get paid first as the owner so that you can build real savings and wealth over time. High sales with low profit and poor cash flow is just a stressful job. It's not a valuable asset. It's not a business. You may think it's a business, but a buyer's looking at it going, why would I buy something with that low of a margin and have to work that hard? Step 5, systemize how you get clients. Ask yourself, do we have a repeatable way to get leads? Do we have a simple sales process that anybody in our team can follow? Or we can train people to bring them in and they can follow it? Or do we depend on my personal networking and hustle? If that's the case, buyer's going to look at that and say, same thing. We got to work. We can buy this business, but we got to work to get the owner out because he's the only one bringing in leads. How are we going to bring leads in? If new business only comes to you and your hustle, that's not a system. That's just you being the engine and the bottleneck. A business with clear marketing and sales systems is more valuable, even if the revenue is the same. So let's talk about some of the value multipliers with the same revenue. Talk about how this all adds up. Here's a simple example. In fact, I was just in a seminar the other day and we had they brought up a company basically similar to this. Company has $1 million in revenue, weak systems, owner dependency. Their profit's good. I mean, their profit's $500,000 EBITDA, but everything, earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization. But everything depends on the owner. So the company looked at this $500,000 and they said, I mean, because it depends on the owner, we'll give you 80% of EBITDA. Now, the same situation, they had another service company that was also doing $1 million, but it didn't depend on the owner to get everything done. It had the same EBITDA, 500,000, but the owner didn't have to look at it. So instead of looking at EBITDA to value the company, they actually looked at total sales and gave them a 1.3 multiplier. So they got 1.3 million instead of 400,000. So you can see how much of a difference it makes if you can set your business up to run on its own instead of it being depending on you. Company 2 had the strong systems. They had recurring revenue. They had good team and good profit. In fact, even with that, they might even be able to sell more based on EBITDA than just on total revenue. Again, same revenue, same profit, very different multiple, very different retirement. Wouldn't you like to have $1 million more in retirement because your business runs without you and you're still making good money now, but you're going to get a better value when you said $1 million in revenue and 40% profit is worth much more than a business with $2 million in revenue and only 10% profit. Focus on raising prices where it makes sense, cutting waste, serving the best kind of customers, and also reviewing every job to make sure you're making the margins you want. This is how you grow value, even if your revenue stays flat. Multiplier 4 shows steady growth. How do you do that? You have the marketing system in place to help with your leads. You do not have to double your revenue every year, but if you can show solid, steady growth over the last few years, buyers they just see growth. They just see a nice, steady paycheck, doing the things they want for the most part, except for taking that vacation. They never measure how strong your systems are. And the big one is that a lot of business owners never really look at, if I go to sell my business, how would a buyer view it? You can improve cash flow and profit. You can create that recurring revenue. By doing these things, you are going to increase the value of your company without chasing sales. But side thing that's probably going to happen, if you do all these things, you're probably going to have that growth system in place and your sales will go up, but you're going to make more money and you're going to make the company even more profitable. That's what we focus on in P6 Biz Builders, using these 6 pillars and tools like Value Builder, Profit First, and use the Value Builder score. Would you rather get $2 million at sale instead of 300,000? I hope you found this valuable today. It's so important. Thanks for joining me today. If this was helpful, please hit like. And if you know of any other business owners or acquaintances that could find this helpful, please send them to this video and let them watch it as well. Again, I'm Tom Jones from P6 Biz Builders, and we'll see you next week.